I discovered a book that I wrote in 2010. That's 13 years ago. The name of it is Lost in a Candy Store. And for years I saw the book around. I forgot what it was about. You're lost in a candy store? And the subtitle didn't help. Subtitle is Contradictions in Subjectations. What is that? Contradictions and subjectations. So I read the book just recently. Tracy organized my books for me. It was a big help. And saw this book there. I said, well, let me see what that was about. So I haven't seen it in 13 years. And I realized the subtitle should be, it's a story of love, losing our way, and wisdom. Story of love, losing our way, and wisdom. One thing for sure, it's not a small world. I get lost every day. And so does everyone else. Let me just give a few commentaries now as I read this. Why, just the other day, I thought I found my way. Next thing I knew, I was in a dark pit. Sometimes I can't even find the light switch. It's pretty dark in there. But just we're not where we think we are. For example, I was bathing in the sunshine, and then suddenly I was floating on the wet bear clouds in a rainstorm. Wet bear clouds in a rainstorm. And you know what's really strange? Is that there is no such thing as a bear cloud. Huh. That's strange. Then I got up and said, I'm going to the party. And someone said, wait a minute, this is the party. That's the great thing about getting lost. You get to go home, be happy, sit in a rocking chair by the fire on a cold night. But you ever find that out of nowhere, the walls disappear and you're out in the snow? Sitting there, well, sitting out in the snow. And you wonder what happened to the fireplace? You were all cozy and warm, and all of a sudden, cold and out in the fire, you're out in the snow. Well, life is like that, you know? It's not that the house doesn't exist anymore. It's just not surrounding us like it used to. Or maybe it's still there, but we just don't see it. This is really a strange book. But anyhow, it's cold. Now that's real. Sometimes when I'm happy, a dark memory comes in. And I'm back in the cold. You've been there. I know you have. But if I stay very still and tell myself the right thing in the right way, then I come back and land on the rocking chair. Life's too short to go to a bad movie. That's why I try to not get lost unless I think I'm better off that way. But I don't want to wake up and find my nightmare wasn't really a dream. We shouldn't leave without saying goodbye and maybe have an idea of where we're going. But who really arrives there? That's the question. Who ever really arrives? We seek happiness. We all do. We knock on the door over and over. And I like to say recently, happiness is fleeting, but honor is forever. It's a little insert commentary. But who answers? You're not going to do over and over, but who answers? We're all looking for a really good thought. Yes, we are. When you say hello and you don't know yourself, just say goodbye. When you say, I know who I am, also add, and I am lost. Or you could say, I am whoever God says I am. That helps to avoid a lot of problems. Hey, that's a lot better than saying I am whoever you say I am. It's another insert. Make as much money as you possibly can. All the things you ever wanted. Hire help to do everything that you don't want to do. Get so busy, buy, and then insure it all because it could get lost or broken, right? And forget what really matters. To become an expert on losing your direction. We're all pretty good at that. Then, just throw it all away and seek depth and connection. Depth and connection. But never forget where you've been. Hey, there are lots of ways to be lost. Let me tell you, there are lots and lots of ways to be lost. One is to try to find yourself. It's just one way. That might sound a little contradictory, but there's a lot of truth in it. And forget to pay your bills. If you're so absorbed with trying to find who you are, you just lose contact with paying your bills or other practical matters. Time goes too fast on Sundays. Mondays, we get lost. And Fridays, a lot of people party, but Mondays, we get lost. Limo rides can be boring. Depends where you're going, how much purpose and passion you've got, and who's the driver. Getting lost will probably hold your interest. It's very interesting, you're being lost. It gets really interesting. You're not bored when you're lost. You cannot be bored then. So getting lost will hold your interest. Kind of a drama. But so will getting found. But some people don't like to stay found. They hop on a limo and say, go. When the driver says, where? You say, hey, surprise me. When the driver gets there, he says, you're here. And you say, where? And he tells you to pay him and get out. Now after you're 50 years old, you start recognizing a little more where you are. So you hang out for a while, you turn on your flashlight, and you talk to some of the other lost people. Yeah, you start talking to them. Some of them have flashlights too. Some even have umbrellas. So you go and buy one. In case the walls disappear again and you're out in the rain again. It depends on what clothes you have on and what attitude you're wearing. When in love, sitting on a rocking chair out in the snow wearing a suit is just fine. Even riding a motorcycle in the snow without tires is very enjoyable if you're in love. The little things won't bother us as much, such as losing our sanity. Because when you're in love, it's okay to be crazy and laugh. The walls of the prison disappear. Suddenly, you are free. The walls that were a shield from the rain were the same walls of the prison. We ride the river of consciousness. We jump into the limo and say, go. We always need something new. The other day I found a new way to get lost. It's a creative process. What was so great is I didn't even know it was happening. You can imagine my surprise when I discovered it, because I really thought I knew where I was going. The only way I got even a clue, because my wife was getting upset. After a lot of yelling, I got the idea. Now I know another way to make myself miserable. That's what I call being lost. What also works is eating too much. But now I know a very special secret. And it can be simply said. The world does belong to the young, but the old people know where the treasure is buried.